morning. Ira Epstein with your morning flash update, and this update is for the morning as we're here now on Wednesday, the 22nd of January, 2025, about 8:25 a.m. Central Time. For many of us in the United States, I'm actually sitting here wearing pants that are fleece lined. It's a jean with fleece in it. It's pretty cool. My wife picked them up for me. And the reason is, we wake up in Chicago this morning, we're 3 degrees without the wind chill problems, but we are going up to a balmy 20s. And by the weekend, we might even get near 30. So this cold freeze going through America, and if you saw New Orleans, Houston, you realize what they're going through with snow and the cold. It's unusual. But hey, folks, end of January. So, what do you expect? As we take a look at the markets, you're still getting a continuation rally in the stock market coming up, approaching the highs. Again, you're here at 61.19. Are we going to 6,200 in the Dow? There's some seasonals that are still bullish at this point that kick in. So what else? As January goes, so goes the market. So we will find out if that's going to be a good play. You've got a very mixed picture taking place in the metals. While the gold is up, your platinum, your copper, your silver are down today. The dollar dropped down right towards the lower Bollinger Band for those of you that get my subscriptions. Last night, again this morning, I pointed out that I thought that market was going to hold that lower Bollinger Band. It got within 2 ticks of it, and now you're 30 off of that. As for the other currencies, well, you're going to start now hearing that the Bank of Japan, for example, this Friday, probably going to raise interest rates. Then we have coming up at the end of the month, the 2-day meeting with the European Central Bank, our own central bank coming up. I expect that we will hold still. I expect the European Central Bank's going to cut. When we come into the grain markets today, we started off a little bit weaker and have since rallied back, showing more gain one more time in these markets. So they're still very much up and alive. Bonds and notes holding on to the break in the yield. That is positive. And you're down a little bit in all the energy markets with the exception of nat gas. But remember, the markets anticipated the cold, then they back away from it. So those are the things you got to watch. In terms of news, the mortgage market numbers much more normal. Remember how crazy we went with double-digit gains last week? Big ones, by the way, in the 40 percentile numbers, numbers jumping. Well, this time they're up 0.1%. The purchase index up 0.6, and you're down 2.9% in the refi. Weekly retail sales much more normal, now sitting around the 4.5% level. The Conference Board's going to come out with their leading, lagging, and coincident indicators at 9. They're expected to be down a small amount. And the API numbers will come out today at 3:30 p.m. Now, we are hearing President Trump mention the words China tariffs, Europe tariffs. So very gradually, this is all coming into play. I've heard some people that saw what's going on in the White House there, and they tell me it is an extremely focused White House. Nobody's sitting around, well, we got 4 years, we'll get this done. It's like there's a fire under everybody. Don't know how long that will last, but I would assume Trump's going to get rid of those that don't work well with his staff. They'll be out. Supposedly 1,000 people, new people will come in. He wants that energy. And as we've been saying here, this is his legacy time. So he's going to do what he has to do. This is his last run, last bite of this apple. He'll have problems. We already know that one of the things he did, saying that if a child's born in America, it's not a citizen. Well, that's in the Constitution. Presidential order can't wipe that out. That's going to take an act of Congress to do that. And he's being sued by 18 states. But you get the gist. There will be the battles. There'll be the wins. You saw yesterday the artificial intelligence, Larry Ellison, bringing on all the big wigs with him, and a $500 billion investment going to happen very quickly. I went and measured. Larry Ellison is building 20 plants for data. And each plant, according to him yesterday, was 500,000 square feet. Now, if you live in Chicago, we have the Merchandise Mart, one of the biggest buildings other than the Pentagon in the United States. 3.6 million feet, just to give you an example, but that's 20 some odd stories. We're talking one level. So he's basically taking 5 of those and spreading them out. 500,000 feet, one plant, it's huge by any stretch. He's building 20. So there's a lot of money going into the AI. We hope there'll be payoffs. Medicine's the area they say they'll get it. But coming back to the commodity market, just understand you're now dealing with the euphoria. It's going to wear off. We're going to get back into the normal data. The Fed is very quiet right here as they're in their quiet period now before we get going. Davos is taking its center stage. I hope you watch it each day on CNBC. You're hearing a lot of bright people give you ideas as to what they see in the marketplace. And, you try to garner some ideas from there. I try to help you with that to a degree also each morning in my morning futures video. So in the videos, and I record the futures one at about 6 in the morning each morning, I go through 40 some odd charts. I will look at daily, weekly charts. We're looking for chart setups, and I teach you the chart setup. So this is very much teaching. It puts together all these different parts. The idea behind the teaching is looking at daily and weekly charts using 5 indicators. I explain the indicators. The idea is to give you trade ideas that you on your own might decide, hey, I've been looking to do that anyways. Maybe this is it. Or no, I was looking to do that. He's got a point. I was wondering, maybe I should hold off on that. Whatever it works out to be. Just go to iraepstein.com. Under the word research in the top, there'll be an icon up here. Give that a click. Away you go. I'll catch up with you all at the end of the